next number that I picked, what? Hey, hello team, my name is Meek. Welcome back to the Cauldron, and it's time for August and TBR Tombola. In case you didn't know, this is Bookwitchreviews, my channel, and I have since October last year been playing a game that I so aptly have named TBR Tombola. And basically it is a TBR game where I use a tombola machine. I pick 7 numbers each month, and each number then has a prompt attached to it, and then I pick books out from those prompts. I haven't done particularly well in July. I still don't know how we're already in August, and I wasn't actually sure whether or not I was going to even do a TBR this month. But we are going to do it anyway, and then we'll just see how we go. If you would like to check out the rules for TBR Tombola, I will leave a link to my very first video down below. I will also leave the video list to all my other TBR Tombolas if you are into TBR games. And then let's just do it. Let's jump straight into the numbers. It seems like they might have been nice to me this month, or at least we can hope that they have. Time to pick some numbers. So for the first number, I got 76, which means a new release, and since I am trying desperately to read down some of my arcs, I will be reading A Master of Jinn by P.L.G. Clarke, which comes out on the 19th of August here in the UK, or at least I assume so. That's what NetGalley says. This is a sort of magical realism, like contemporary fantasy novel set in the 1900s in Cairo, and here we are following the first female, I believe, like detective, I want to call her, but I don't think she's a detective. She basically works for a magical agency, and she is included in a couple of P.L.G. Clarke's other short stories, which I really want to read before I read this one, so we'll see if I do that. But anyway, I've heard absolutely amazing things about this one, and I just really desperately want to read it. I've read a couple of his other short stories, and he just has a really particular way of writing, and I find it super interesting. Also just the magical and the steampunk and that sort of like coming together, I just find it like so cool. Yes. Next number I picked was 78, which is another new release, and for that I will be reading, if I don't read it before August even happens, The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik. I had hoped that I would be getting an actual physical arc of this one, but NetGalley has smiled down upon me and have given me the access to an ebook copy. This is the second book in the Scholomance series by Naomi Novik. The first book, A Deadly Education, was my favorite book last year, together with Harrow the Ninth, and this one follows in the footsteps of the first book, I believe, literally immediately from the last page. And basically, A Deadly Education is a book about a magic school, but it is a magic school that is made to sort of preserve the lives of these young magical students, because there are these monsters that are trying to kill them and will kill them, and in this school they're still killing them. And basically in the first book we follow Elle, whose long proper name is Galadriel, yes, from Lord of the Rings. I love it very much. Who is part of the student body in this school, and she's just trying really desperately to survive, even though she actually has connections to sort of the dark arts, but she really desperately does not want to turn evil, so she is just trying to do her best. And I love that book, and I was approved for this yesterday, and I tried so hard not to start it already, but now I've put it on this TBR, and I'm super pumped to read this book. Third number was 45, which is an Ownvoices book, and for that I will be reading yet another new release. This is A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. Victoria Lee is a non-binary Jewish author, and this is a sapphic dark academia thriller where we are following 2 young women who at this boarding school end up becoming sort of tangled together in the mystery of witchcraft. One of them tragically lost her girlfriend a year before and has been gone from the school for a year, and the other one, their writing progeny, who is sort of looking into the mysterious like history of this boarding school. And I've heard nothing but amazing things about this book, and I'm so very excited. Like, it also doesn't technically come out till the beginning of August, so I got sent this copy early by Forbidden Planet, and I did pay for it. But yes, I'm so pumped to read this. For fourth number is 52, and for that I will be reading a Magical Realism book, and I've snuck this in. This is Raph games by Ampera Ortiz, which is apparently set in our world, but there are witches and wizards and dragons, and basically our main character really desperately wants to become part of her native Puerto Rican team that are part in these dragon games, which is how the witches and wizards like settle things, and they apparently need like a runner, and she has an opportunity to take the job. However, it seems that there is much more to the Raph's games than our main character thinks, and there may be someone out to try and stop it from happening. And I just read the first page of this, and it sounds real good. And also the second book, I believe, is coming out this year, otherwise next year, but it has just gotten a cover, and I am pumped because dragons, yes. I picked 51, which is another Magical Realism book, and I am going to continue my reread of Meredith Gentry. I'm trying to be kind to myself with this TBR, with books that I'm very excited for, that I actually really want to get to. So I'm going to continue Meredith Gentry, this series by Logie Hamilton. This is A Stroke of Midnight, which is the fourth book in the Meredith Gentry series. It is an urban fantasy, paranormal, magical realism series that follows a basically fairy princess who is half human. And in the first book, A Kiss of Shadows, we meet Meredith Gentry as she has been hiding for like 3 or more years in the human world because the Unseelie Court, which she is a part of, has been trying to kill her, and now she gets offered back into the Seelie Court if she can become pregnant. So it's basically like a harem situation, and I really love this series. I am incredibly attached to it. It has its fault, but I love it a lot, and I want to continue the thing. There's only 9 books, and I'm already on the 4th, and I reread these really fast, so there might be more than one on this month's TBR, but the next number is 15, which means an adult fantasy, and for that I will continue the Broken Earth. Can't talk. And for that, I will continue the Broken Earth trilogy with The Stone Sky by N.K. Jemisin. I have just started The Obelisk Gate, which is the second book today, so I will finish that and then I will be reading this one. This is the third book in the, as I mentioned, the Broken Earth series. The series starts with the 5th season, which is an absolutely amazing, epic, high fantasy. Also sort of seems like it's a dystopian sci-fi thing. It's basically a little bit of everything, and it's a really hard thing to explain, but basically the world has a 5th season, which is like a disaster season, and so humanity has like taught themselves to be very like individual, and so everyone basically is for themselves, including this specific type of people who actually have a control over the earth, and they are getting ostracized and murdered the majority of the time. But this is a series, it's absolutely amazing. I can't wait to finish the whole thing, which is why I am purposely putting it on this TBR, so that I can finish it, so I can love it, so that I can buy more N.K. Jemisin. And last but not least, we have number 75, which is a retelling or a mythology inspired book. And for that, I will be reading another e-arc that I am so very excited for. And that is Little Thieves by Margaret Owen, which is a retelling of The Goose Girl, which is another much loved, very sort of unknown fairy tale that I adore. And basically, all I know from the premise of this, I've never actually read the summary, is that we have a young girl who may or may not be the patron or half-daughter of the daughter of Luck / of Death, and she has taken over the role of a princess and has forced the princess to be her maidservant, and basically she's just trying really desperately to live her life the best way she can, and it's something about knives and people kneeling, and I'm so excited about reading this book. It just sounds so good. The author is absolutely amazing on like Instagram and Twitter, and so funny, and does all of this art, and it's just so cool. And I really want to read her other duology as well, and I'm just like, it just so good. It looks so good. And then additionally to my TBR, we obviously have a couple of books that were left over from last month, but we also have the fact that I am determined to read a non-fiction book now every month. Last month I finally read Queering Your Craft, and this month I will be reading Save the Cat Writes a Novel, which is like a novel writing introduction help thing. And I know a lot of the points of this, but I feel like I need a I need a refresh. Also, this is written by Jessica Brody. So let me show you what I also have left over from last month. So we technically have an additional 5 books on top of what I've just shown you. 4 of these books are from last month, and the 5th is actually from June. So Nightshine is from my June TBR. The Obelisk Gate I am currently reading. Then we have Ship of Shadows, Mythos, and Upon a Burning Throne from the leftover of my July TBR, which did not go very well at all. But I am actually very excited about Once Upon a Burning Throne. I also really want to read Nightshine. The 2 in the middle, like, I want to read them, but we'll see how it goes. And yeah, that's also on there. So this is my stack of books that I am very excited to hopefully read some of in August. I want you to think that there is an additional 3 arcs on here. Yeah, there's 3 other books on here which are arcs that I'm hoping to read. But you know what? We'll try to do our very best, okay? I don't know how it's gonna go. I've been feeling really weird about reading and writing and generally doing anything other than watching TV or being on TikTok. And you know what? I'm just gonna do my very best, and then we'll see how it goes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, hit subscribe button at the same time so you don't miss out on any other videos from me. You can also click the little bell which give you a notification when I put up a new video, which I do regularly. So I hope you are well. I hope this video finds you in good health, and then remember that I'm proud of you, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.